What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here again from Mr. FBA UK, being in another awesome video. Well, hopefully. It's all to do with maybe not so awesome VAT, value added tax, basically. I was never going to do a video like this, and actually I've done, this is my fourth attempt at this video because something keeps happening every single time and it's all different things. But anyway, we'll get cracking and see what we find out. Basically, just so you know, just as a little disclaimer, this is not a financial or legal advice. Because I know it gets quite because it's quite legal in the terms that you should go through an accountant, everything you do through VAT. Now, not just a random guy on YouTube that's looking at Disney dolls, that sort of thing. So, what I actually did with my VAT is I got my first VAT return done by my accountant just so that I could see, they do it on QuickBooks and stuff, so I can go back and have a check what they've done and stuff. And then I just basically mirrored that, and I've studied my AAT level 3 and stuff, so I had a VAT exam and all that sort of thing. So I sort of get the gist of everything. But I actually started level 4, and halfway through level 4, I basically just emailed me my teacher and said, level 4 is like a degree level of whatever. That's like the standard level. It's like degree because you got obviously level 4 is the top. I actually just emailed and said, no, not for me, cheers, see ya. So I didn't actually finish level 4. Just because it was what, ages ago now, but it was the most depressing subject you've ever done. Accounting as a whole is the most boring thing, and I thought, Jesus Christ, I did it just because my old job wanted me to do it. And then because I quit my job, started Amazon. I said, well, what the hell am I doing that crap for? So I literally just emailed her one day, I said, sorry, halfway through the year, but I'm not. Basically, I decided that from then on, I don't want to have to do anything that I don't want to do in life. Because a lot of people think, no, you just got to work, you just got to get a job, you just got to do it. But actually, do you? Can you do everything you want to do and be successful? Which is a really cool thing I started thinking about. And actually, you can, but because you don't believe you can, you never even try. So, working for yourself. I doubled my salary within 6 months of working on Amazon. I had a degree in business. I was working for HSBC, and I was like, all bets are off. Within 6 months, I can double my salary. Anyway, back to actually what the video is about. I just went on a bit of a crazy one there. This is all about VAT. Get the accountant to do it for you, probably at least the first time. And if you are competent enough to do it, then you can do it yourself. And I actually register. There's different types of VAT registration, which many people don't know. You can register basically a standard VAT or flat rate. Flat rate is where you pay a fixed for the first year, 6.5% against your turnover. You pay 6.5% in VAT, and then after you get a 1% discount in the first year, and then it goes up to 7.5%. Or you just register for a standard 20%, and basically, if I buy this doll for $14.99, boom, that I then pay I paid 20% VAT, but then I actually claim back. So if I bought this for £7.49, I claim back 20% of the £7.49, and then pay out 20% on that. So the difference is, so if this is obviously half the price, which it is, the difference is 10% there, yeah. Because obviously the amount of VAT that I'm going to be able to claim from that is half the amount I'm going to be able to claim from the sell price. Not be able to claim, have to pay out, you get what I mean? So the difference is what you'll pay. And because it was 6.5% in the first year, and everyone used to say it was about 10% after you've gone, against each other, I went straight. I thought, well, extra work, isn't it, to make, for the data wise, in documents and stuff. It's a little bit more time consuming, and at 6.5% is quite nice. Just knowing it's going to be a flat 6.5. But there are downfalls for that. Basically, you can't claim anything unless it's over a £2,000 capital investment, I think. Meaning, if it's an asset over £2,000, like a laptop, if you spend over £2,000, you can claim back VAT and stuff like that. But obviously, it'll be anything, office equipment. But when you're doing online business, obviously, there's not much that you're really going to spend on that's over £2,000. Maybe a laptop. That's probably about it. Yeah, if you start delving or deviating down other routes, but on my version, pretty much anything. And I wouldn't even do that. I normally get second-hand laptops anyway. So 6.5% is what I registered for, and that's for 1 year. Now it's gone up to 7.5%, and I probably will change to the standard next year sometime. I'll probably do it after the quarter. So the VAT, you can do VATs every month, every quarter, every year, I believe. Mine's currently every quarter, so every 3 months I pretty much pay VAT. But you actually, on your first, when you register, on your first return or the first payment or whatever, you have to basically submit a document and then pay the money. It will be actually 4 months in 1 week because it's 3 months period. So what are we in now? We're in November. So my period would be September, October, November. That's my actual real quarter for VAT. So everything that's due for between like whatever the accumulated VAT that I need to pay on those 3 months, I pay it out by the 7th of January. So at the end of November, I have a month and 7 days. But obviously, I pay it on like the 3rd or the 4th, so it gets there definitely by the 7th. I don't want to get any fines for it taking too long to get there. So that's, for example, that's a good thing. I won't pay the VAT for December, obviously expecting to be your best month, until April. So you have, for example, I can do a lot more strategic planning about because obviously December is going to be a huge amount of VAT to pay. Compared to the other month. Obviously, it's going to go up over October, November, December. But you get what I mean. So you can sort of play with it because it's not like you're paying it out all the time. You can sort of play around with what you do and how you treat VAT. So I'll go over some tips that I use. But it is risky. There are risks that go against it. So don't take my advice. That's why I said it's not legal or financial advice, because everything I do, you could do it and it could go wrong. You get what I'm trying to say? And it's just the way I perceive risk and debt. Like I accepted, like I realised, like when I realised I could quit my job within 6 months of starting Amazon, I could quit my job. This is a couple of years back, and double my salary after having a degree and all that sort of thing. I was like, actually, I need to start rethinking everything that I do in life, the fundamentals, principles behind. Because people say, go to work, get a job, do a degree. You've got to do that, but it feels like people are just trying to get through life. It's like you're getting through it. You just get a job. It's crap. Like, but you got to do it. Like, hang on. If you say you only here once, and you want to get through life, wow, that's cheerful. Like, you're just gonna get through life, son, and then you're dead anyway. So that's great. Okay. So yeah, I started rethinking everything to do with debt. What is debt? Like, it's actually not a thing. I actually was in debt loads when I was younger. In my early 20s, I just gambled and like did all this crap, got into loads of debt, and actually realised that like got into all this debt, couldn't pay it, and then I literally just left it for about a year. Kept getting letters, and then I started really researching it online, and actually a lot of companies, because it wasn't a bank. Basically, it was literally what I did because I was that bad. I don't know how I got to this point, but basically I had like a catalogue on like Very. I had like 10 grand limit or something, or like 18 grand limit, and I literally buy iPads, sell the iPad. I get buy now, pay later for a year, sell the iPads on eBay, and then get the money. Like that's so basically, whatever I did, if I needed some extra money, I'd just do that. And over like a year, I accumulated 18 grand of debt or something. Because after the year, they slap, if you didn't pay it within buy now, pay later of the year, they slap on some stupid percentage. So basically, the debt at the end was 18 grand. Like, even though the actual debt wasn't 18 grand, it was like 10 or 8. But they just whacked on some stupid amount. And actually, like, I left it for about a year and a half. Then I thought, I better start getting around to it. And then, like, in the end, they just sold it to a debt agency thing. And then I just basically came to a deal and just paid like 6 grand or something. Yeah, okay, I've got satisfied on my credit report, but it basically only stays there for 6 years. So, and when you start a business anyway and stuff, you can't get a mortgage or anything like that for at least 3. So if you look at it, obviously I didn't start the business straight away after that, so I'd say I had a year. Then I start my business, so that's 4, and then that's 4 years before I can even really look to apply for anything, because obviously I'm work for myself. And then I just got to wait 2 years. So but when that happened, I was like, well, I got into all that debt, and actually didn't really. It wasn't as bad as it was, because I just didn't really You know, you get what I'm trying to say. So the way that I use my VAT is thinking that it isn't actually that bad. Like debt isn't anything. Like it's just a number on a screen. And actually, like if electricity didn't exist anymore, that debt wouldn't exist anymore, because nothing can actually power to show you anything that the debt exists. You get what I mean? So it's not really there. It's like a creative thing that's not there. So that's how I perceive risk now. When people are like, oh, but what if? Well, exactly. But you're conditioned to think what if, because society doesn't want you to take risks. It wants you to be conservative, and basically so that they know what you're doing. You know. Anyway, Jesus, I've gone on a rant again. Back to VAT. Okay, so one way you can do it is you can just save all your VAT and put it into the bank. Yeah, so you got every time you make a sale or you get your cash or whatever, you put it in the bank, and you know that whatever that total comes, because you've just figured it out, you pay it out, done, dusted. And actually, it's basically you still lose money. You lose more money when you register, so you don't make as much, or whatever you want to call it. But the interesting thing is that, thinking back, my last Q4, I would have actually like kept my prices higher, because what's happening now is that everyone that's selling that isn't VAT registered is making more. Basically, they can sell it for cheaper than I can. So I'm in, I guess, a bit of a pickle, because I know that price is probably 30% return for that guy, but he's not VAT registered, where I have to take 26% if I want to match him. So in the long run, for business growth, you want the business worth, or the overall value of stock and everything, to be as high as you can, obviously as early as you can get it. Now, by doing this, I'm hindering myself, because I'm getting closer to the limit as fast as I can, because I want to make sales and get, yes, you'll still make profit, good profits, but you could have held. And as soon as you now register, I'm actually now losing. I could have waited an extra, say, 3 months, because I held at a higher price. Wouldn't have to register for VAT, and I would have made 3 months worth of extra cash, because I wouldn't have registered for VAT. So I would have made that would be my extra profit. So that you hinder yourself in the long run. You actually long term pay out more the faster you get to your 85 grand. And if you do it in a way like, oh, it's Christmas, I'll put everything to 20%, but I'll do shit tons of sales. I'll do 200 grand in sales, but everything's 10%. Well, yeah, you can, but then as soon as you register for VAT, you're paying out more than what you were before. So if you weren't making that much anyway, now you're making even less. You get what I mean? But if you had done it the other way around, where you kept everything high, your overall value of your business, as long as you didn't take loads of money out, would have grown before you then register for VAT. So your stock value or whatever would be double, or like an extra 5 grand, for example. But now I've got to register 3 months early. I've had to pay out 5 grand that I could have actually, that could be mine if I had just played the game better. You get what I'm trying to say? So even though I did less in sales, I've got 5 grand more in the business, because I haven't had to pay out VAT for an extra couple of months, because I've actually not just put 20% on the prices. So, and also another thing is that VAT is paid on this value and not the value you get back from Amazon. Amazon will give you like 8 quid, 9 quid, whatever. But there's accumulated value on that. So if you're making if you're making nothing anyway, if you actually make a loss overall, I do 100 grand in sales a year, but I actually buy stock for 105 grand. So I've lost 5,000. I still have to pay VAT. So it's not on profit. It's not on anything like that. You've got to pay VAT on this, no matter what. So that's a good thing about, like, if you have a limited company. Obviously, if you do need to liquidate your company, or you do something wrong and you can't pay it, you can basically dissolve your company. I mean, you just liquidate it. Literally, it is what it is. But you have to then declare that on any applications for new businesses in the future for 6 years again, I think. But again, if you don't really need capital and stuff like that, which you probably don't with an Amazon business, it doesn't really matter too much, because as long as your business again isn't going to be like, I need to go and get a bank loan, here's a business plan, So I'm going to do a little spreadsheet and just show you roughly, just for this one item, what's basically going on with this. Well, I did have notes from a couple of days ago, but basically what I do is I'll put £7.50 here, and I'm going to put the £14.99 here, and I'm going to show you the difference in what you would have actually got, basically what you would see, yeah? So what we're going to do here, we're going to jump across to here, let's just make sure. So you can go here, click this little thing, and then it will basically give you which one you want. So not applicable is wrong. So basically, Amazon's fees. I'll quickly save this for you. Amazon's fees, which is this, don't add on VAT. Anything at all. So it says basically, see the top part, £4.69. Yeah, that's what you see on the Amazon Sellers app. That's what you would see when you're on, say, this. But Amazon will then, because you're not VAT registered, Amazon will charge you 20% on fees, and that's like that's literally the number one thing that sellers from the beginning do not know, and they always basically lose money or break even for a bit until they figure out why I'm making enough money, and then they tweak and correct. It's always a thing that happens. It's just, I don't know. It's like the one thing that they just don't tell you about or something. So don't you ever use that setting, basically. So if you are non-VAT registered, obviously you'd have this. So let's just do this. Let's just crunch the numbers and see what we would make. Ignore all this. This is literally an example. I wouldn't sell it because Amazon sell it, and you can see by here, probably don't share the buy box very much here. The way you can tell is if this dips, that could be me selling out or you selling out. So if there's if it's like up and down, you know what this looks like. You can see when like Argos 3 for 2 is on, because this thing is all the way up to here, like, you know, and then it goes down as people sell out. So you see waves as the deal appears somewhere in store, and then obviously it's not, the deal doesn't exist, and it goes down like that. So yeah, obviously normally you probably wouldn't buy this as well, but we're going to put. Let's just double check this. So 94. So you see that UK VAT, that's the VAT on fees. So if you get the £4.69, get a calculator and you plus 20%, you get 562 and 8. But then if you minus the fees, you'll see the difference. 93, 94p it comes out. It's rounded up. So 94. So you're getting profit £1.87. Okay. I did like to have my other video was like an hour and 10 minutes long. And I don't know what this will be, but like after all that, I was like, oh my god, I have to redo it, and it was a bit of a. I won't go into. I'd probably ranted again on that one anyway. So overall, I don't really know what I said. So with this is interesting. So if I only bought this for £5, the amount that I'm claiming back VAT is lower. So the amount of VAT overall I'm paying on this is higher than if I buy it at that price. You get what I'm trying to say? But obviously the profit's lower. So with the standard, obviously you've got to put the difference. What you're doing in the VAT returns, you put how much you're paying out, how much you're claiming back, and then it's just the difference between them. So if I'm claiming back £3,000 from HMRC from all my purchases, and then I'm paying out £6,000, well, what do I pay them? £3,000. Yeah, the difference. But the good thing about standard rate, which I'll tell you, is you basically don't. With standard rate, you can claim back VAT on everything. So if I have a meal, a staff meal, for example, or I buy a laptop, or FBA Wizard, they charge me VAT. Online arbitrage deals, they charge VAT. I can claim all of that back because you can claim back. But on the fixed, you cannot claim anything unless it's over the £2,000 that I mentioned. So if you've got a lot of expenses, so I don't have prep fees, you see. So if I had prep fees, let's say £500 or £600 a month, I can claim back a decent amount in VAT there. Plus all the other expenses that you've got, like I buy from eBay boxes, you buy print, just everything, all the bits basically that you need to actually do it. Like FBA Wizard, then you've got BuyBot Pro, then you've got, what else do you have? Oh, you get what I'm trying to say. All those things. And let's say it's £1,000. Well, now you can claim back, 20% on all that. But on the flat rate, you can't. Well, on the flat rate, if your expenses are really low, then you wouldn't have really claimed back much anyway. So it might better go on the flat rate. You see the difference? And obviously, we're going to compare here the prices. This is standard. 6.5, and then so basically, it doesn't actually give you the 6.5 on here. It's set at the 7.5. This is a flat rate, but it's actually set at 7.5. So I'll just figure it out myself in a sec. So that'll be the 7.5. And then what I'm going to do is yeah, so 14.99 is the price. So the VAT is 97p, 98p, 97. I'll put 98. Well, I'll put 97 because it's not. I won't round it. Sorry, just me being stupid. I actually need to put the difference. So it's £1.12 at the 7.5, and it's 97p. So what's the difference between 97 and £1.12? I always do this. It's sometimes the most easiest thing to calculate, and I literally carry on just using calculators. 15p difference. So you're getting back 15p more when you're on a 6. So instead of getting £1.69, you're actually getting £1.84. So this is now what we can see. Yeah, so let's just highlight this a little. So you can see the difference here really nicely. Obviously, non-VAT registered is here. Now you're going to get the most here, of course. Standard is here. This is not, so this is taking, the system here, Buy What Pro will take into consideration your buy price here. And calculate the VAT, so you don't really have to worry, as long as you put in the correct buy price, yeah? And then 6.5, so the difference between minus 169, so I'm going to adjust it then to the diff, 15p, so we get to see a comparison. Is that right? That looks too close, doesn't it, on the Oh, I see. Yeah. Now if you look at this, so that's really interesting. I'm not going to do the difference for everyone. I'm just going to do the difference for each one here. But the reason that it's very close between this one and this one is because of one thing. Now you think, well, how is it only a 3p difference? Which is, well, it seems to be right, but it seems a bit unrealistic as well at the same time. Yeah, I mean, it seems fine. The reason is because this is what happens. Yes, you're paying out the 6.5% here, but guess what's happening? They're not charging you fees on your Amazon fees. So you know your Amazon fee that I mentioned at the beginning, when you add 20%, Amazon will charge you 20% on your VAT on all fees. When you're VAT registered and you input it into the system as being VAT registered on Amazon, you have to submit your number that you get. They stop charging you fees, the 20%. So actually you're gaining in that department, but then paying out more. So you're still losing more money, but you're actually, so you can see here, it's not actually that bad at all. But obviously, that's only a small amount. It's 3p, but if you're doing thousands of units, of course, it's thousands of pounds, yeah, extra that you're paying out, or whatever. You know, hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds, whatever. I mean, like, I paid out, like, what did I pay out last quarter? 4.5, 5. I don't even remember. But like, it adds up. Once you start, definitely over Q4, like 5p here, 8p here, 10p, you know, it will add up. But so the interesting thing, which is a tip, this is the whole thing about risk that I was mentioning before. This is, so imagine this is a massive list. Now so actually what happens is this. I pay HMRC my VAT. Now I actually accumulate that VAT in my bank, yeah, or whatever I want to do with it. But let's say it's in the bank. So let's say my course of September, October, and November, yeah, which it is. In September, I'm like, you know what, Q4's coming up, and I don't have to pay it out until January, yeah, because of that extra month. So in September, let's say I do 15 grand in sales, yeah, and I get and I have to pay out, sorry. That's not actually that much. If we're using the 7.5% that I'm on now, yeah, so I did 15 grand in sales. I don't know if I did, but I don't know what I did. Minus, so the VAT I'd have to pay at £1,125. So that could be sitting in the bank. Because I'm like, right, that's the amount that I'm going to have to pay in Jan. And obviously that's like set, and then Oct, and then November, yeah. And obviously, like, that's to say that it was, that's to say I did the same, just so this is an example, I did the same. So actually my accumulated total is this. That's the money sitting in the bank. Well, now I don't have to pay it till January, because guess what I do? So a tip one, or thing one, remember I don't pay any fees. So this value is actually not what I get back. I don't get back that. I'll get back that plus that VAT amount, because obviously that's what I then manually have to pay out. It's not automatic, is it? Yeah. So this is just showing you the overall picture, long run picture. This is because obviously, if you actually looked at this, how much I got back, I would get that plus the £1.12 UK VAT. So actually, I'm getting double almost, you know. But really, it's not my money. So it's this is, you know, I have to pay. I have to give it away, or you know, I have to have it available by the 3rd of January to pay out. Yeah. So what do I do? Well, a lot of people, some people I do know, just put it in the bank and then pay it, which is fine. Now this is what I do. I don't always do it. It depends on the time of year. I leverage. So this is actually cash flow in the bank for me. In September, I've got this much money sitting in the bank. Well, what the hell am I going to do in September? I don't have to pay it out to Jan. I don't have to pay it out to bloody January. So what am I doing? Well, I'm in September. What am I doing with this? I'm putting it into stock. So I'm up because I'm not paying the fees that these people are paying. Yeah. So these people here are actually getting £1.87 back. Me on the 7.5%, I'm getting the £1.69 back plus the £1.12 short term. So I'm actually getting that in my bank. Well, you know, so actually look at the difference, yeah. Obviously that then that VAT amount accumulates to this much, say, and obviously this much and this much, depending on what sales I do. If I do 30 grand, I'll have 2.5 grand, yeah. That's VAT, that which I need to keep VAT. So I'm leveraging my position, which is time, and I'm taking short-term cash. I'm using not my cash, basically. So, I mean, I guess none of it, like, depending if you've got a loan or whatever, but you get what I mean. So this amount of money here, let's say in September, I'm reinvesting all of my money. So actually, my stock value is actually inflated because of the situation I'm in. Yeah. Because if I had to pay it out every day, for example, I would never have this money. But now I'm buying stock. Okay, so does that work? No. So so now, hang on. Okay, let me just cut to the chase here. This is 3,000. Well, it's the end of November. What the hell? What am I going to do with that? If I got that and sit in the bank, I'm not keeping it in the bank. I'm buying stock. Because it's December. Like, you know, am I worried that it's not going to come out? No, because I trust my judgment in purchasing. So I know. And also, if you're worried, just be a bit more conservative in your using that. It's hard to tell what part of what is VAT, obviously, when it goes in the bank, because it's just in a lump. But you know roughly how much you're going to have by, let's say, January 3rd. So let's say I'm going to put that, I think I can get that in and out twice in December. Because it's so good in December for sales. It's, you know, 5 to 10x. So I can get that in and out at 30% return. So 3,375, which is that amount I'm investing on November the 31st, yeah? Or 30th, I think. 30th. I'm going to plus 30%. Yeah? Because I'm actually making 30% on this because I'm sending it in the stock. I'm making £1,012 profit off the VAT. Well, actually, I said I can put it in and out twice in December. This is just December, remember? So you could do it here, here, and here. But this is saying I waited until the end. Well, actually, let's do it here. I'm putting at 1,125 plus 30%. That's so I can put it in and out once in September, once in October, twice in November, and twice in December. Yeah. Why is that? Because December's VAT, whatever that number is, I don't have to pay till April, so we're not going to use that. And obviously, whatever I do in December, I can start to use December's VAT in December as well as all this. Yeah. So 1,125 plus 30%. I'm making £337.50 profit. Well, profit off of the money that I would never have had in the first place. Yeah. And the same, we will do the same in October, because I only think I can go in and out once because sales aren't as high, and obviously as we get closer to December. And here I reckon I can do twice. So actually now I've not just got 2,250 on here, do I? Because I've actually made that much profit on both. So I've got 2,250 plus 337.50 plus 337.50. I actually have 2,920. So that's wrong. 2,250 plus the 337.50 plus 337.50. Yeah, got 2,925. I actually have that. Yeah. So we're now coming to November. So this is the VAT I'm going to have to pay, okay? This is all VAT money that I'm going to have to pay, because obviously that won't change. And yes, I know that my sales would not be, obviously in November I'm going to put everything through twice, the VAT would not be that much, it would be higher, but I'm just using the numbers just as they are, yeah? So now in end of October, I'm actually got stock value and cash value, depending on where it is, if it's in stock or in cash, of that which I would never have had before. Yeah. All the while, I'm actually making more money in the short term because I'm not paying these fees, the 20% on the fees. So then I have this I can reinvest in November. So actually, obviously, this only applies in Q4. So in January, February, March, obviously you can't put it in and out. January, you can't even put stuff sometimes in and out once. So you know you have to play it depending on when it is and stuff. So if I have 2,292, that's not right. 2,925 plus 30%. I'm making 800 here, 877.50. Well, okay, let's just do that because I can't even. Is this going to go on? So I've actually made that much profit over those 3 months. Yeah, obviously I can still play with stuff in December, but taking as that's the quarter. Look at that. So I've made profit this, and obviously you can still play with that. Actually, yeah, we'd do it because in real life I would play with it in December. So we are going to play as if that's the truth. So yeah. So here at the end of November, I still have 1 month to get whatever I've got. I've got 1 month left before I have to then consolidate and pay out basically. So I've not only got the 3,375, but I've also made this down here. 3,375 plus 3,375 plus 877. Yep. So I with the money to play with, if I had it in cash, all this would be this much money. And I'm going to basically say that I can get it in and out twice. So I can make 30% on that much twice. Oh, hang on. 4,927.50 plus 30%. Obviously, there's a risk here. Say, for example, your account gets suspended. Well, now where's the cash? It's not there. So you have to, you know, that's why I'm saying it's everyone's own judgment. goodness me, I just pressed the wrong bloody button. This is the thing about when you do stuff like this. You have to actually get every last little nook and cranny correct. 4, 9, 2, 7, 50. Okay, so I've now made in December 1, 4, 7, 8. And again, in January, you would not be able to do this. You barely be able to get that in and out. Like, I couldn't have put in £5 in January and get it out once, probably, on top of my money that I'm already using, like the actual my money. This is what I'm going to call not our money or not my money. This is just like a short-term play to maximize your losses. No, to maximize your. You get what I'm trying to say. Basically maximize or reduce your liability. That's probably the best way to say. Reduce your liability as much as you can in the short term, so that your slightly longer term liability, which is every 3 months, isn't as bad. I've now made that in December, and then at the end of, say, like the 20th of December, I know I now have only 2.5-3 weeks, so I'll then hold back. And because obviously, if I could put it in twice in December, this much money, the VAT liable would be far greater than this. But I'm just showing you the idea behind it. Okay, so look what I've actually made profit from the VAT amount, VAT value that I should have. A lot of people put it in the bank. Okay, if this is in the bank, how much would I have to pay? Overall, what would I have to pay in January? The same. That's definitely not copied properly. Let's just do the video. Okay, if I do it this way, what VAT do I have to pay? That is the overall impact is only £344.25. And yes, you're still making a loss compared to someone who isn't registered, but guess what? Expenses and stuff, you only have to pay one lot of expenses. You only have to, so if you, instead of doing 85 grand or just staying under the 85 limit, if you times that by 2 and you're doing 170 grand a year, you're making double the money. Yeah, you're paying out that, but your expenses don't double with your turnover doubling. Yeah, they go up a bit. You might have to buy some more boxes and do a couple bits here, but the fundamental basics don't. Like FBA Wizard, you don't have to pay for 2 subscriptions, for example. You don't have to buy 2 subscriptions to MyBot Pro or online arbitrage deals or whatever you got. You only have to pay one lot of rent a month. You get what I'm trying to say? For in physically pay. So the money you have to pay yourself doesn't have to double, does it? So that's how I personally play the game, I guess you could call it. And it isn't for everyone, because this is a bit more of like a risk, because it means that if something happens and you've got to pay it, well, you haven't got the cash. Obviously, that's a bit of an issue. So that's why I was saying this is not financial advice or legal advice, because this is just personally what I do, and everyone will. I'm sure there is so many different ways that people play it and do it just like this, or different versions of this and that sort of thing. Interesting insight into how I deal with VAT, and there's so much more you can look into. Like there's some things that you only pay 5% VAT, and there's some things you pay 0 rate of VAT, meaning you don't pay VAT on it. And actually, I didn't even really think about it till the other day. My mate discuss like non-luxury, so anything that's non-luxury grocery items, like essentials basically. So I'm actually sorting it out now, because I'm not even sure of how it works with that. So there are other elements to look into, which you will probably just come across as and when. And yeah, and that's the video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got a little bit of I mean, I don't know if it's just the right way to do it. It's just the way I do it. I guess you don't know until you try. So hope you enjoyed it. Finally, the video is going to go up after all this time. Yeah, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do the usual bits and bobs. Comment if you have any questions. I know it's a bit more of a sort of a get your head around topic rather than just like a general chit chat. So yeah, hopefully you like the video, and I'll see you next time.